My lovers, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about trying to ride uphill. Now listen, if you're that type of rider who's like, no, I don't ride up hills, and you do everything you can to avoid riding up hills, the bad news is you're never going to be a bike rider, straight up. Like if you're like, oh, just the hills, but you're never going to be a bike rider. It's cool. Or you get an e-bike, but even those people, I don't know about you. And friends who are trying to get your friends into cycling, don't take those people with you. Don't take people who complain and try to avoid hills. It's not worth it. They're not gonna like riding. Done deal. You don't like hills, you're not a rider. It's all good, no hate. Find another hobby or physical activity that you think is dope. Now, for those of you fools and masochists who have remained, let's talk about it. All right. You're a bike dork. You watch all the bike channels and the Pathless Pedals and the Bike Sauce and the GNCs and I can't even name more right now, but I watch them all. Matty Actives and 99 Spokes. You know. But what is hard to tell from all those action camera footage, it's hard to tell the topography. It's hard to tell how hilly it is. And I ride in Seattle, and anybody who knows Seattle is amazingly beautiful, but incredibly hilly. And so people who have never been to Seattle really don't understand. When they're watching my videos, they're not really understanding that I be riding hills, and I don't avoid hills, and I like riding up hills. So let's talk about the techniques I use to make my hill climbing more pleasurable experience. Because don't get it twisted, just because I like going up hills doesn't mean I'm gonna ride every single bike uphill. It's not all equal. Let's talk about why. So for those of you who are new to cycling, hills can be intimidating. They require your bike to have the proper gearing, and they require you to have enough stamina to have a sustained pedaling motion without relying on coasting. You can't coast uphill, you have to keep pedaling. And that's the one thing, and it's slower. It takes a longer time to go a similar distance if there's an incline. And all those challenges are physical and they're mental. So when you see hills, you just kind of deflate and you're like, nah, this is real. But there are ways to get over this. So one of the things that is making hills challenging for you is that you don't have the proper drivetrain, meaning the gears at the back, the cassette you have at the back doesn't have enough gears for you to get up that hill. Basically, if you want to consistently ride up hills, you don't want to have to stand to get up that incline. Standing is something you do to relieve pressure, to relieve pain, but if you have to stand and it's the only way you can create enough power to get up that hill, you're gonna fatigue fast. So yeah, sure, it's possible to get up hills without the proper gearing if you are a super strong athlete. But if you're going on long rides, over the course of time, the mechanical advantage of having good gearing is gonna help relieve some of your fatigue. So if you don't have a bike with gearing that is specifically made so that you can climb up hills, and watch my video about drivetrains, this is an important factor when you're buying a bike. The place that you live in, me living in Seattle, I'm not gonna get a bike with small gearing. I'm strong enough rider to make it up hills with smaller gearing than what I have, but because I wanna go further and not faster, I'm willing to sacrifice the speed for climbing so that I can go longer distances and that there's no place that I cannot go based on the incline. There is a mentality that comes with climbing hills. You really have to develop certain mentalities as a bike rider to overcome the challenges of hills. One of the main challenges of hills is that you cannot coast. When you're going uphill, you have to pedal every inch of the way. A fixed gear rider has that mentality, and the fixed gear rider's mentality is very beneficial for hill climbing. They never coast. Their bikes are configured in a way where the crankset keeps pedaling no matter what. So this approach builds your stamina fast. You can't coast, and when you can't coast, you get stronger faster. If you go 10 miles without coasting, you're gonna be stronger than if you try to take breaks over that course of 10 miles. If you need to take a break, use your gearing. I like to go to a high gear, and my pedaling gets slower sometimes, so that I can go slowly, but I'm still generating still a little bit of speed. So you can manipulate your gearing sometimes to give yourself a break, but you always want to keep pedaling, even if you're pedaling slower. Another part of the mentality is embracing hills as adventure. Your stamina and your strength is the pathway to more locations. The stronger that you get, the better the gearing is on your bike, and the more consistently you ride, the more places you can go and the more distances you can travel. And if you're looking at biking as an adventure, as opposed, because this is a non-competitive cycling channel, we're looking at cycling as you're supposed to have fun. And for me, having fun is being able to challenge myself to go, can I go to this other town? How far can I go on a bike? And for some of us, it's just a thrilling adventure. It harkens back to when we were kids. I grew up in the 90s. We didn't have the internet and stuff. If the thing wasn't in the store next to you, you had to go to another store. You couldn't just go on the internet and get it. And sometimes your bike as a kid was a way to get a video game across town. Oh, that GameStop over there, or that video game store over there has the game that you have and this one doesn't, or whatever you're looking for, basketball cards, sports cards, or whatever. And you'll use your bike to get over to that place that you couldn't get to. And I guess that's just kind of burnt into my mind, is that these vehicles are ways to adventure, and hills are a challenge as far as the adventure goes, and hills can be a barrier to getting to that one place you need to go. And so if you just embrace it as the stronger that I am, the more locations I have access to, it really helps strengthen your mentality over time. And like I said, if you're someone who is avoiding hills at all costs, you're never going to be a cyclist. I don't even know why you're still watching. Just to get off the video right now. When tackling a hill, pace yourself to avoid burning out. Focus on maintaining a steady cadence and control your breathing. Avoid the temptation to sprint up the hill. Instead, find a rhythm that you can sustain throughout the climb. This approach will help you reach the top more efficiently and with less fatigue. Staying relaxed is important on the bike. A lot of the times when you see hills, you can get mentally intimidated, or you can get nervous or excited, or even you can get kind of jacked up to ride on it. It's kind of important to just stay even-keeled and focus on the techniques of pacing yourself, your pedal strokes, your breathing. If you need water, staying hydrated. So just being really relaxed and calming yourself down and focusing on your breathing will go a long way in helping you tackle the climbs. Mastering clean gear shifting. Proper gear shifting can make or break the climb. Anticipate upcoming climbs and shift gears before you reach them to avoid shifting under load, which is not the best for your drivetrains. Maybe some drivetrains can handle shifting under load, but as a general rule, better to not shift under load. Practice shifting also, so it becomes second nature, and always know which gear your clicking will go to. A lot of the times when you ride your bike at first, you just kind of you'll shift up or shift down, and you'll be like, oh, I shift the wrong way. Well, let me do the other one then. And then you'll eventually get it right. You can't really do that on hills. You really have to know that when I click this, it's going to do that. And so I literally will just practice, because every bike has different clickers. So I just take a second to practice. On my Poseidon, I say, hey, the clicker on the top is when I want to go up, and the clicker on the bottom is when I want to go faster. So I just make a little thing in my mind, and so every time I'm on a hill, I click the exact way that I want to. I'm not fishing for, oh no, I did it. That'll just kill your momentum, and momentum is like the king on your ride. So the shifting helps you maintain that momentum. Your bike has to fit. You have to find a comfortable bike. If you want to ride consistently for long distances and do, those long elevations, you need a bike that fits. If you're not comfortable on your bike, it is really difficult to sustain a long climb. So you have to just take that time and tweak your bike. It can take a time, or you get a bike fitting, or you just kind of figure it out. But you really need to fit that bike that you're riding. Regular bike maintenance is important. I remember the one time I went on a journey with my friends to Vashon Island, and we tried to make it to the lighthouse. I had a lot of play in my pedals, and my drivetrain was not well maintained. My shifting was jumping back and forth, and it killed the ride. The parts when I really needed that bike to shift well, it did not, and it took a lot of my energy while I was going uphill just trying to worry about the shifting. You can have problems with your drivetrain and still maintain a long hill climb. If something's going on, your tire pressure's not right, something's wrong with the wheel, something's wrong with your brakes or whatever, you need to make sure those things are in decent condition if you want to have a reasonable time trying to climb hills. Staying hydrated is important. Again, if you're going on long adventures with a lot of climbing, you drink water. And, now they have electrolyte powders and things that can kind of add, back some of the minerals that you're losing from your sweat. Drink those too. Stay hydrated. It's going to be easier if you climb in shaded areas than in areas that are full sun. There's nothing you can do about that sometimes. But the one thing that you can do is try to plan your hydration and make sure you're drinking enough water so that you can kind of maintain your power output. Standing on your bike during a long climb can relieve some pressure and engage different muscle groups. This technique can help you tackle steep inclines and maintain momentum. Experiment with standing and sitting to find the balance that works best for you. So if you made it to this far in the video, then congratulations, you're going to be a hill rider. So advice to you, okay? You're going to be hardcore. You're going to ride up hills. It's going to be dope. Don't take people on adventures with you that complain, okay? That's one of the things that I really should put in this video like that, but I'm going to put it at the end for the OGs who stayed this long is don't take people with you like, I don't want to ride up hills. Don't just leave them at home. Because they're going to kill the ride. They're going to kill the adventure. As you go up, they're going to be complaining about this and that. You want people who, while you're suffering and doing these hard things, we already know we're suffering. We already know it's hard. Let's make jokes and let's laugh and let's try to clown while we're doing it so it isn't as hard. Like people who complain while you're already doing hard things, I can't stand it. So don't come riding with me if you're that person, and don't take them with you. Thank you for watching the videos, my friends. Don't comment. I'm all about those comments. Comment, get in it. We'll talk soon.